that I think that we need to understand. In Exodus, the Lord told you to teach your children this word and this message, so they will be the generation to come that passed it down. That's what happened to us. We didn't teach our children, and we got further and further and further away from the truth. And that's why we got this Protestant teaching that we have now. What is this Protestant teaching? This is the teaching that came from the Catholic Church. That's why the Catholic Church and every Protestant denomination worship on Sunday, do Easter, do Christmas. They have taken us so far away from the truth, it is hard for us to get back to it. So now, what I'm going to do is something a little different. I'm going to let this false prophet lie to you. And then we're going to kill the lie, and we're going to go on with this message. Because it is time for us to understand and prepare ourselves, our children, for what is to come. Because I might not be here, you might not be here. But we need to take this time of preparation. That's why the God talks about the day of preparation, a time you prepare for what's coming. Now, I got this chart on the board. You can put the chart back up there right quick for me. We got the chart on the board. I wanted you to see the creation or the renewing of the earth. This is when God renewed the earth, because the earth was already there. He just removed the water and the land appeared and all that, and then he rested. This is the physical rest. But what we're trying to get into is this spiritual rest. He told man to work 6 days and rest on the Sabbath. Your work ends. He blessed it and sanctified it. And this is why you go to church. You do not go to church just to make friends and be here. You are here so the Spirit of the Lord can be upon you and you can walk in it. Because what this is all about is keeping the commandments. Something that simple. But this is what it's all about. The Lord told man to work 6 days, rest on the seventh. But he also told you to, in the feast, to eat unleavened bread for how many days? 7 days. So he wanted you to walk sin-free in this walk that he first gave you. Tabernacles. He gave you that. The book say we are supposed to feast how many days? 7 days. But this represents the creation, everything he gave man, and on this 7th day is what is called in your Bible the ingathering. This is when the resurrection is going to take place. See, everything God gave us in these feast days is tied to your life, tied to living a righteous and a sin-free life. So now let's bring on this false prophet. Play what he said.
The tribulation after the rapture.
Now this is
the unbelievers go through the great tribulation, the wrath of God, 7 years of hell on earth. The purpose to punish the ungodly for the rejection of Jesus Christ and the Word of God. Please understand that the tribulation is 7 years.
You hear what he said? 7 years, he said. Go ahead and read. Go ahead and let it play. 2
periods of 3.5 years.
2 periods of 3.5 years. We're gonna kill that today in a few minutes. But I'm having this played as a teaching tool. We got this off of the YouTube. We're having this played so you can understand the lies, and we're going to match it with the scripture. Finish it.
This period is called the tribulation. The second period is called the great tribulation. Why? Because the suffering is greater. The first thing that happens in the tribulation following the rapture of the church is
you hear what he said? Following the rapture of the church. The tribulation, the great tribulation. I haven't read that, brothers and sisters. And we're not going to read that out of your own Bibles. This man has told so many lies in about 30 seconds, I can't hardly keep up. This dude is straight lying. Go ahead and read. Go ahead and
in Revelation 6.
So this guy has said so much, 7-year tribulation, 2 parts, the tribulation, great tribulation. Rapture, he said. I ain't read nothing about no rapture, y'all. But what I'm going to do, what we're going to start off doing is what we did the last time I was here. I'll go ahead and read the monologue. Okay, sisters and brothers, want to say, and this is a good example of one of Satan's greatest tools is deception. The Lord Jesus said, many will come in his name saying he is Christ and shall deceive many. And that is the absolute truth. Because we're going to church on the wrong day. We are celebrating the Lord on the wrong day. We calling Christmas his birthday and all that. We are doing all of that. The church in Revelation 17 not only made the kings of the earth drunk, but then also made us and the people drunk as well. This church has given the world sunrise service, Easter, December 25th, Christmas, and a 7-year tribulation, as you just heard. It is obvious to me that people like being drunk because everybody got a Bible. So we could have read out of your Bible how long these things was going to be. Because we are not reading our Bibles. The Lord said that there will be a time of trouble on this earth that the world has never seen. Satan's ministers today are teaching you about a rapture that will never come, brothers and sisters. These false prophets teach you in Daniel, the 9th chapter, verse 24, verse 27, and that it is a 7-year tribulation. Now, these verses are about the Jews, the people, the holy city, Jerusalem, and the Messiah, which is Jesus. Now, today, brothers and sisters, before we get started with the lesson, we're going to show you a day 7 scriptures that how long this tribulation period is going to be. Now, I was supposed to start this in the middle of the lesson, but it was hard to do that with the information I have. So now, this is going to be a time, and that's why I start off with the kids. If these kids are not prepared for what is coming, now you see we got this pandemic, we've had pandemics before, we got wars, rumors of wars, we got all kind of stuff going on. People coming up with these strange diseases that they don't know where it came from. You better bet your life we are in these last days. In my estimation, we are probably here, somewhere between here and here. We are in this 6th day of man. So we are coming. And I'm going to show you, and I'm going to read to you that these people over there in Jerusalem that's saying that they are the Jews that are not, they are preparing, have already prepared these young priests. They are looking for this red heifer to purify the foundation. This thing is moving right along. And we are not prepared, and we got to be prepared for this. So now, this period of human history is called the hour of temptation, the time of Jacob's trouble, because our people are not prepared for this. They dancing, they singing, they running through the churches. People in their 80s and 90s, they got them running through the churches and falling all out and all that. No knowledge, though, because that's what's going to save you even in death. Some people I'm going to read to you, some people are going to die. They're going to die because they love the Lord. But they're going to have the knowledge, and the Lord is going to raise them right up. See, these are the things you must understand, and you must pass on to your children. And if your family don't want to hear you, that's all right. You planted the seed. One of us will water it some kind of way, or maybe even you will water it some kind of way. So we're going to start off in Daniel, the 7th chapter. Daniel 7, we're going to hit 7 times where the Lord is going to tell you that this tribulation period is only 3.5 years. Ain't that something? This man got up on YouTube, because he comes on sometimes on Channel 5. He gets up and he tells these lies, and ain't nobody questioning him. Rapture. What's a rapture? Why is a rapture? He called 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter, the rapture, but he's saying it's before the tribulation period starts. You're going through this tribulation period if you're still here. And if you are not in the wilderness, you are going to go through this tribulation period. Period. Old and young. Women with armed babies, they're going to kill everybody because you're going to have to take this mark willingly. They can't throw you down and brand you with it. That's cheap. They're going to ask you to serve Satan. And if you say, yeah, they're going to put his mark on you. These are the things that you got to understand. You have to have the faith. Like I always try to tell a story. If the tribulation period started, and we are 2 years in the tribulation period, and they catch up with you, That means you're going to be alive. And if you refuse to take the mark, you got only a year and a half to be dead. You don't have the whole 3 years. Because you believe they're going to mess with your children. They're going to tell you, I'm going to kill your wife. I'm going to kill your children if you don't take the mark. You have to have enough faith in God to know that if you don't take this mark, so what? And he promised you that he was going to raise you from the dead. You guys know in Revelation 11 about the two witnesses. Read about the two witnesses. Once they got done, when that 3.5 year period, the Lord said, come up here. And they rose from the dead, and they met him in there. Same thing is going to happen with you. So now, verse 25, what does it say?
And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
Yes.
And shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
Go ahead.
And think to change times and laws.
Uh-huh.
And they shall be given into his hand until a time.
1 year.
And times.
Another 2 years.
And the dividing of time.
6 months. Go ahead.
But
Did you finish that?
That was the end of 25.
Okay, let's move on. Let's go to Daniel 12. Let's just turn over to Daniel 12. Daniel the 12th chapter. Daniel the 12th chapter. And we're going to read verse 7. So that's one time, 3.5 years. This is all this tribulation period is going to be. But prior to the tribulation period, you're going to have this man these people over there in Jerusalem build this temple and start this animal sacrifice. You got to have that time period too. Then you got the 30 days it's going to take for him to take the temple. So you got all kind of time periods. That's why you got to be prepared. Verse 7, what does it say, brother?
And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven. And he sware by him that liveth forever that it should be for a time.
Now this is an angel. And he swore by God that live forever. He said for a time, go ahead.
Times.
To another 2 years.
And in half.
6 months, go ahead.
And when he shall have accomplished to scatter the people of the and when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people.
You see what that say, y'all? When they have this scattered and accomplished the power of the holy people, what happened?
All these things shall be finished.
See, he even let you know after 3.5 years, it's over with. But you have to be prepared, brothers and sisters, for what is coming down the road. See, you don't go to, when I used to go in and be in a Sunday church, I was the deacon. I was the fireman. I was the police. I was everything in there because there was only one deacon in there, and that was me. I had to clean up. I had to cut the heat on in the wintertime. In the summertime, cut the air. I did all of that. But I didn't get no knowledge. He didn't teach me anything. Music sound decent, and it wasn't that good either. But this is what we were doing. Revelation. Let's go to Revelation, the 12th chapter. Because it says, and when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these shall be finished. Because it told you right there. Revelation 12 and 14. Revelation chapter 12, we're going to pick it up at verse 14. Revelation 12, we're going to pick it up at verse 14. Pay attention to what the book is saying. Let the Spirit of God get inside you and move you. Go ahead and read. What does it say, brother?
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness.
Fly into where?
The wilderness.
Go ahead.
Into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times,
go ahead,
and half a time, from the face of the serpent.
So now again, 3.5 years. Back up to the 11th chapter and read verse 3. We're going to read verse 3. Revelation chapter 11, we're going to read verse 3. The first 3 we read, it said times, and a half a time. Let's look at it again by the days. 11 and 3. What does it say, brother?
And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses.
Yes.
And they shall prophesy 1,260 days.
So, go ahead.
Clothed in sackcloth.
So these 2 witnesses is your marker. They're going to preach the whole 3.5 years.
Right.
That's what you look at. That is your marker. That's how you actually know. Plus what we read over there in Daniel. They're going to preach the whole, actually, they're going to preach 1,257.5 days because they have to be dead for 3.5 days. So when the Lord called them after the 3.5 days, that's going to give you 1,260. He's going to say, come up here, and they're going to come on up there. Let's go to Revelation 12 and then go back to Revelation 12. We're going to pick it up at verse 6. Revelation 12, we're going to pick it up at verse 6. Because the church knows, because we teach, the church knows that you must flee unto the wilderness for any protection that you might receive. You got to get there. And we will make sure, if you are a servant of God, that we might send out a mass text from headquarters or whatever. We're going to make sure that brother there going to know. We going to know where to get you to. But all this is about your faith. If you don't believe God, you ain't got a prayer. I don't have a prayer if I don't believe him. Because I ain't never seen Jesus in my life. I ain't never seen Moses. But I believe that the Lord came and he died and Jesus became a reconciliation to God for us. I believe that. So you have to believe that. And if you get caught in the jam and they catch you and they try to get you, give you the mark, you got to believe that the Lord is going to raise you from the dead, even if they kill you. Now that's what it's all about. What I say, Revelation
12 and 6.
12 and 6, read that.
And the woman fled into the wilderness.
Go ahead.
Where she hath a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days.
So this is a place prepared of God. He prepared this place for you, and we're going to read a little bit of that to you. Let's go back to 11 and 2. Revelation 11, we're going to read verse 2. Because we're going seven times. 7 times. I could have read 2 and 3 together, but I wanted to do it by the days and by the months. Now these are the months. Go ahead and read.
But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not.
Go ahead.
For it is given unto the Gentiles.
See, this is the courtway. This is the temple that these Edomites are going to build. This man of sin, which is a Gentile, he going to take this temple. See, God got it all laid out. Start at the top of 2 again. What does it say, brother?
But the court that is without the temple leave out, and measure it not. For it is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall be tread under foot 42 months.
And everybody in here that got a car know how long 42 months is. Because that is 3.5 years. One last place. That was 6 times. Revelation 13 and 5. Revelation 13, and we're going to pick it up at verse 5. Revelation 13, and we're going to pick this up. You should be right there at verse 5. What does it say, brother?
And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months.
See, this man of sin is going to be given him. He going to blaspheme God. Because this man is a God in his own right. And he's a king in his own right. He going to blaspheme God. He going to glorify and exalt himself. And then it said, and power was given unto the beast. And there shall be given unto him a mouth to speak great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him for 42 months. 7 times the Lord has shown you that this tribulation period is only 3.5 years. Now, what was this man talking about? See, this is supposed to be one of the top ministers that you saw on the screen. Like I said, we showed you this as for a teaching tool. To show you that on the YouTube, these people are lying to the people. Now we got regular Sunday preachers telling the same lie. The Lord is always preparing you, his servants, for what is to come. Let's go to Isaiah 34. Isaiah 34. And, everybody, Isaiah the 34th chapter, we're going to read verses 1. And then we're going to read verse 16. Because the Lord is going to have you, he's going to tell you, look, read your book. Read, but here he's talking to everybody. He's talking to the whole world. You know why? Because the whole world is in trouble. This tribulation period, as you're going to see, it is for the whole world. Not just mainly in Jerusalem, America, South America, Europe, everywhere. This tribulation period thing is going to be going on. And if you don't take that mark, you going to be killed. But the Lord said he's going to raise you from the dead. But if you do take the mark, you're going to be able to buy and sell. But when the Lord comes, he's going to put so much pressure on you, you're going to wish he was dead. So now, we're going to pick it up at verse 1. Read verse 1. Go ahead.
Come near, ye nations, to hear. And hearken, ye people.
Go ahead.
Let the earth hear, and all that is therein.
He said, let the earth hear, and then all that is therein. Go ahead.
The world.
The whole world. Go ahead.
And all things that come forth of it.
Y'all see that? He's talking to everybody here. Skip down to verse 16. What does it say, brother?
Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read.
And read, brothers and sisters, because the whole plan of God is on your lap. What he's going to do. If you're a terrible person, you got time. The book says, as long as you living, there's hope. You got time to change. You're a wife beater. You disrespect your husband. You beat your kids for no reason. You got a filthy mouth. You got time to change while you're living. Because when you're dead, the dead know nothing. You can't praise God. You can't even ask God for forgiveness when you're dead. Finish that. Start at the top of 16 again for me. Go ahead.
Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read.
Go ahead.
No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded.
Yes.
And his spirit it hath gathered
See,
them.
the Lord commanded all this to happen. So now let's go to Jeremiah 30. Jeremiah, the 30th chapter. Together. Jeremiah, the 30th chapter. See, the whole book is supposed to be yelled from the housetop. We are supposed to know what to do and how to do it. You know, when the Lord talks about he made a covenant with somebody, all he's talking about is the 10 commandments. I'm going to make an agreement with you. You do this, I'll do that. You keep all my commandments, I will be your God, and you can call on him if you need him. This is all this is about. It's what he told Abraham. He just told Abraham too, I'm going to give you the land of Canaan. And this is something that he did, and Abraham kept the covenant of God. And he died keeping the covenant. We're going to start at verse 4, brother. We're going to start at verse 4. What does it say?
And these are the words that the Lord spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah.
Go ahead.
For thus saith the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace.
Do you see what he said? A voice of trembling, of fear, no peace. Go ahead and read.
Ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins?
He said, does a man travail with a child? Does men have babies? No. It's going to be, the sisters say, that baby thing is so painful. We can't even fathom that. He said, this time period is going to be just like that. It's going to be so painful, and the pressures are going to be on man and woman so hard, it's going to be just like a man is having a baby. Go ahead and read.
As a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness.
Go ahead.
Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble.
See what he called it here? This is a time of Jacob's trouble, because Israel don't know what's coming down the pipe. You're too busy trying to string lights, and even nowadays they hiding pumpkins. You know, I was looking at my great grandbaby. They got her out there looking for pumpkins and all that. You know, some kind of tradition that they got going on. Look at all the traditions that we do: Easter, Christmas, Mother's Day, Father's Day. Look at all the traditions. Where did they come from? Did they come out of the Bible, or are these traditions of the Gentile? Just think about what I'm saying. I'm not casting any dispersions on nobody. I'm telling you that we should be getting everybody to do what we do, not we shouldn't be doing what they do. This is the word of God. He say, alas, for that day is great, and so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. But he's going to be saved out of it if he do the right thing to be saved out of it. If you don't remember nothing else about this lesson, remember, do not take that mark under any circumstances. Because I can show you what's going to happen to you. You're not even going to get no judgment at all. And the Lord descending, he's going to kill you and then kill you forever. And that's written in the scripture. Let's move on. Let's go to Amos 5. Amos, the 5th chapter. And the Lord is going to liken this into a person in some real trouble. Amos 5, we're going to pick it up at verse 18. For those that's taking notes, we're going to read 18 through 20. See, the Spirit of the Lord is trying to fill you. Talking about being filled with His Spirit, He is trying to fill you with His Spirit, with His Word. That's what He's trying to do. Not just the preacher or the prophet is supposed to be filled. You're supposed to be filled because you're supposed to know what to do. And that is the issue about serving God, reading your Bible for some understanding. We're going to pick it up at verse 18, brother. What it say?
Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord.
Now you see that? Right off the top. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. Excuse me. My mother used to say, and other people used to say, oh, I can't wait till the Lord get back. Oh, I can't wait till God's return. That is woe unto you, because there's going to be so much carnage and so much bloodshed. The book say the blood of man is going to be 5 feet high up to the horse's bridle, and the blood is going to run 200 miles. Ain't no, you don't want this. Don't woe unto the Lord at all. Just pray that we get through this and we be saved at the time appointed. And these are the things that the Spirit of the Lord is warning you about. Go ahead and read, brother. Where you at?
Verse 18, the middle of 18.
Go ahead.
To what end is it for you?
What end is it for you? Go ahead and read.
The day of the Lord is darkness,
yes,
and not light.
See, after the tribulation period, this day of the Lord starts. The real day of the Lord, it starts. Because I'm going to show you that after this tribulation period for the saints, this day of the Lord, the people that took the mark and decided to serve Satan, they're going to have their own tribulation period for 6 months. And the Lord going to put it on them. Like the book say, they're going to desire to die. They're going to be so sick, they're going to want to die, but He is not going to allow them to die. Now, that's some real power, ain't it? He ain't going to allow them to die. Finish that.
That was the end of 18.
As
if a man did flee from a lion.
Now, just like you done fled this day of the Lord, just like you done ran from a lion, He after you. Go ahead and read.
And the bear met him.
And then he got away from the lion, and then he turned the corner, and the bear was right there. Go ahead and read.
Or went into the house and leaned his hand upon the wall.
So he went in the house, and he thought he had got away, and he leaned his hand on the wall. What happened?
And a serpent bit him.
That's how much trouble this day of the Lord is going to be. Every turn, something is going to be going on. You're going to try to hide over there, somebody going to tell on you. You're going to be in the bushes, somebody going to tell on you. You're going to have somebody with you, and they might walk off and get the mark, and then they're going to come back, and they're going to tell on you. And then you're going to have to make that decision. You're going to have to make that decision of how you're going to do that. Read that next verse.
Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness?
Yes.
And not light?
That's right.
Even very dark, and no brightness in it?
So there ain't no light in this day of the Lord. This is all pressure. This is a time of Jacob's trouble as well. So now let's move on. Let's go to Matthew 24. Matthew 24. See, the Lord say stuff a couple times so you can get it. If you didn't believe Matthew, maybe you'll believe Mark. You don't believe Mark, maybe you'll believe Luke. You know, the stories in the three gospels vary. One give you a little more than the other. We're going to pick it up at verse 3. We're going to pick this up at verse 3. Matthew 24. We're going to pick this up at verse 3. Matthew 24. We're going to pick this up at verse 3. What does it say, brother?
And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
Go ahead.
And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you.
That's why I played that clip. Don't let nobody deceive you. You don't know, go ask somebody. Enough teachers come down here. If you got any questions, you ask them. If they don't give you the right answer, ask him. If he can't give you the right answer, he going to call me and ask me. There's no reason that you be not informed unless there's a question like, when does the 7-day start or something like that, a millennium start? I done told Andre, I don't know. I can walk you through it, but I don't know exactly when it starts. But I know what's going on here, though. So now, what verse are you?
That was the end of 4.
Continue.
For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
Just like the guy we saw, he's a big, saying, I'm Christ this and Christ that, but he's lying. And he goes to church on the wrong day. And he has some of the biggest Christmas trees in his joint that you ever want to see. You take a fireman's truck to get to the top of that tree. Because that's how big the man's tree is in his church. But go ahead and read some more.
That was the end of 5.
Go ahead.
And ye shall,
skip down to verse 14. Read 14 for me. And what does it say?
and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached into all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
One more.
When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation.
Now, when you see this man of sin, but he's called the abomination of desolation. Notice he's not called Antichrist. Where did that come from? You know, we all used to say Antichrist. Antichrist is like the guy that we saw in the video. He's anti-Jesus. Really, an Antichrist could be any false prophet that's preaching contrary to the word of God. But this man is called the abomination of desolation. Read 15 again for me.
When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand.
Let's go to Mark 13 right quick. Mark 13. Let's look at it again. Because these guys, they know what's up. So Mark said the same thing. He said it a little different, but he said the same thing. Mark 13. Mark 13, we're going to pick this up at verse 14. We're going to read one verse, verse 14. Now, he's going to say exactly what Daniel said, but it's going to be a little different. Verse 14, what does it say, brother?
But when ye shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing where it ought not.
Standing where you ought not, go ahead.
Let him that readeth understand.
Then
let them that be in Judea flee to the mountains.
So now, if you in Judea, you are supposed to flee. That is the whole point. When this man go into this temple, you are supposed to run for your life. Now, how are you going to understand this? But you can't, the book says, how can you hear without a preacher? And how can a preacher preach to you unless he is sent? So now, let's go back to Matthew 24, and you're going to pick it up at verse 16. Matthew, we're going to go to 24. You're going to pick it up at verse 16, brother. What does it say?
Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains.
Everybody got it? Everybody got it? Did I go too fast that time? Them that's in Judea flee in the mountains. Go ahead and read.
Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house.
Go ahead.
Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days.
Ain't that something? You see how urgent this time period is? This is super urgent. Go ahead and read.
But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day.
A lady told me she goes to Jerusalem every year for vacation. She said, you cannot get change for a quarter on the Sabbath day. You can't get anything to eat if you had to go to a restaurant. If you had to, everything is shut down on the Sabbath day. So now the Lord he's telling you this is an urgent time when this happened. Read verse 21. What does it say?
For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be.
Your baby gets sick. How are you going to take your baby to the doctor? How are you going to buy milk? This is urgent. He said, let him which is on the housetop not come down and take anything out of his house. Don't even go in your house during this time. See, this is going to be a terrible, terrible time. Let's go to Daniel. Let's go to Daniel, the 12th chapter, Daniel 12. Now, Matthew and Mark they got this from somewhere. So where they get it from? They got it from Daniel, the 12th chapter. Because he's going to tell you the same thing about this as being an urgent time. Daniel 12, we're going to pick this up at verse 1. Daniel 12, we're going to pick see, this is a terrible time that's going to go down. But if you're not prepared and you get caught in this, woe unto everybody. Daniel 12, we're going to pick it up at verse 1, and then he's going to skip to 5. What does it say, brother?
And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people.
Go ahead.
And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered.
Go ahead.
Every one that shall be found written in the book.
See, he called it a time of trouble too, didn't he? This is going to be a terrible time. Verse 5, what does it say, brother?
Then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, there stood other two, the one on this side of the bank of the river, and the other on that side of the bank of the river. And one said to the man clothed in linen,
what'd he say?
Which was upon the waters of the river, how long shall be to the end of these wonders?
He said, how long shall this be? Now we're going to read it again, but we read this verse. He said 3.5 years, time and a half a time. But read it so they can hear it. What did it say?
And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and swear by him that liveth forever, that it shall be for a time, time,
go ahead,
and a half.
Go ahead.
And when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished.
Now, brothers and sisters, this tribulation period is going to be 10 times worse than this pandemic we got going on here. A lot of the people that you get conflicting views about this, about that, shot, all that. So now, in 1918, they had something called a Spanish influenza. It started. It was responsible for the death of 20 million to 40 million people in Asia, Europe, and North America. You had what was known as the Black Death. It came in 1348. It swept through Europe from 1348 to 1351. It was estimated that 25 to 60% of the European population, between 75 and 200 million people, died during the Middle Ages. This tribulation period is going to be worse than that. World War II, 60 million people died. The Vietnam War, it was estimated. The death toll was between 1.3 million and 3.9 million people, brothers and sisters. This time period that we talking about, that the blood is going to run 200 miles and be 5 foot high, it's going to be worse than all of this. A lot of people going to die. And it dawned on me, why? Because the Lord got to purge the earth. You got gangrene in the foot, they cut your leg off up to the knee to make sure they get all the poison and all the gangrene out. So the Lord is going to have to cut the sinner out of this earth. And I can read that to you in Isaiah 13. He's going to cut this sinner clean out of the earth. Let's go to Revelation, the 3rd chapter. Revelation 3. Revelation 3, and we're going to pick it up at verse 9. See, if you obey God, he's going to protect you. And that's what he promised you. Excuse me. If you obey him, he will protect you. Revelation 3, we're going to pick this up at verse 9. Revelation 3, we're going to pick this up at verse 9. Revelation 3, I'm waiting on everybody to get it. We're going to pick it up at verse 9. 3 and verse 9. What does it say, brother?
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews.
See, these are people who say they are Jews now. Go ahead.
And are not.
And God said they are not. Go ahead.
But do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet. And to know that I have loved thee.
Go ahead, brother.
Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation.
Go ahead.
Which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth.
Ain't that something? He said, I'm going to keep you from this hour of temptation, because you have kept the word of his patience. He said, which shall come upon the whole world, all the world, to try them that dwell on the earth. See, this is what's happening. The whole world is going to be involved in this. The whole world will be involved in this. Let's go to Revelation 11. Revelation, the 11th chapter. Revelation, the 11th chapter. Let's turn over to the 11th chapter. Revelation 11. And we're going to pick this up at verse 1. We're going to read 1 and 2. Because these are people that say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. And the Lord has let you know who these people are. But these are the people. All you got to do when you're not busy or on your phone, go to put in your phone or your computer, Temple Institute. These people are dying to build this temple. And they're gonna reinstitute animal sacrifice. Go ahead and read verse 1. Read 1 and 2. What does it say, brother?
And there was given me a reed like unto a rod. And the angel stood, saying, Rise, and measure the temple of God, and the altar, and them that worship therein.
Go ahead.
But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not.
Go ahead.
For it is given unto the Gentiles, and to the holy city shall be tread underfoot 42 months.
Guy asked me, why is it important to know the genealogy of the Bible? Because you need to know who the Gentile is. You need to know what son of Noah did we come out of. You need to know what son of Noah did the Hamite come out of. So you can understand the players when you read about them in the book. God ain't got no problem, no nationality problem. He wants you and everybody to be saved. He just used Israel to pass the message. But he wants everybody, Jew, Gentile, Hamite, whoever. If you believe on him and keep his commandments, he gonna save you at the time appointed. Now, the Jewish sage, that's a false prophet. Or they holy man, they priest. He believed that when the Messiah comes, he will stand on top of the roof of the temple and proclaim, humble ones, the time of your redemption has arrived. But the Messiah has already been here, hasn't he?
That's right.
See, these people do not believe that Jesus has come already. I don't know why nobody can see that. They perpetrating the fraud. That's why the Lord say they call themselves Jews and are not, but do lie. So now, it says, despite the willingness of many Jewish people to rebuild the temple and reinstitute temple service, including the slaughter of a red heifer or cow, the Jewish people have been left without a temple in Jerusalem to perform these animal sacrifices that make an atonement for sin. Because of this, blood atonement is no longer a focal point in Judaism. This is one of the reasons why it is difficult for Jewish people to connect the messianic prophecy of Isaiah 53 and the concept of the blood atonement for forgiveness of sin with the Messiah, Yeshua's death on the execution stake. They don't believe he died for your sins. So they got a problem with that. So they're waiting on him to come. But these are the people that they say are Jews, saying they are Jews and are not, but do lie. See, you have to have the knowledge to save yourself. If you don't have that knowledge to save yourself, you're going to be in a world of trouble. I think I read the rest of it. You're going to be in a world of trouble. It says today many of the preparation for the third temple and the vessels have already been completed, including the sacred worship vessels and priestly garments to be worn by the Levites in temple service. How is that? They not Jews. The book say they're Jews. They say they are Jews and are not. How is that? How do they know who a Levite is? See, these are the things that we need to understand. As well as they got 500 young men from the descendants of the tribe of Levites have been trained as temple priests to fulfill their duties of worship and sacrifice in the temple. Ain't that something? These people are pretending to be you. That's what they're doing. And they've had their hearts set on building this temple in Jerusalem. And it is coming. It is coming. Let's go to Daniel the 8th chapter. Daniel the 8th chapter. Daniel 8. See, these people they got their hearts set on showing the Gentiles, or showing all the world that they are the true Jew. But they don't believe in Jesus, the king of the Jews. Y'all understand what I'm saying? They don't do nothing. If you watch them do the Passover, they get a plate, they put a shank bone and an egg on the plate and some garnishments. What is that? Is that the Passover? Was that how the book told us to keep the Passover? The lamb died for you, but the day of atonement is why the lamb died, and they don't even do that. See, there is a great deception out here, brothers and sisters. A great deception out here. Daniel 8, and we're going to pick it up at verse 9. Daniel 8, we're going to pick this up at verse 9. See, the Spirit of the Lord is upon you today because he wants you. He wants to fill you with his knowledge. So you can understand what to do. Some brothers, they get this knowledge and they go around and they act like they're better than everybody else. That is not the fruits of the Spirit. That is not how we are supposed to conduct ourselves. Pick it up at verse 9. 8 and 9. What does it say, brother?
And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great.
Go ahead.
Toward the south, and toward the east, and toward the pleasant land.
Go ahead.
And it waxed great, even to the host of heaven. And it cast down some of the hosts and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them.
Now, this little horn is this abomination of desolation, brothers and sisters. Now, look at how he magnifies. Now, he's going to have a host. An army is going to be given him. Now, he's going to magnify himself to the prince of that host. Pick it up at verse 11. What does it say?
Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host.
Go ahead.
And by him the daily sacrifice was taken away.
See, this host is his army. Go ahead and read.
And the place of his sanctuary was cast down.
One more, brother.
And an host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression. And it cast down the truth to the ground.
Go ahead.
And it practiced and prospered.
And it cast the truth down to the ground. Let's go into the 11th chapter of Daniel. We're going to pick it up and we're going to read one verse, verse 31. See, Lord got this all set up. And then he's going to tell you in the new book about this man. We have to be prepared. And the greatest preparation for this is keeping the commandments. That is the greatest preparation. Watching how you walk. Watching how you talk. The Lord got 7 spirits running to and fro in the earth, and he's watching. God keeps a book. He keeps a record of everybody. That is the book of life. So the way you conduct yourself is the way you show God that you deserve to be saved. It's like when we do funerals, I tell the people, I can't preach the person's funeral in the box. The way he lived is how he preached his own funeral. I've done funerals for people that I don't even know. They just heard about something that we've done someplace else, and then I would go there and I would do the funeral for the person. But I want you to notice, whenever you go to a funeral, when the man of God get up there, they close the casket, they lock it, and they put the flower on the top. Because the funeral is not for the person that was in the box. It's for you sitting out there. See, God is preparing you. Weddings, funerals, baptisms. He prepares you. That is when God is actually in your business. He is letting you know that I'm here. You must understand this, brothers and sisters, before it's too late. Daniel 11 and 31. 11 and 31. What does it say, brother?
An arm shall stand on his part.
See, that's that army. That's that host. It's going to stand on this false prophet's part. Go ahead.
And they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength.
See, they're going to go into that temple that the Edomites going to build. That's what we read in Revelation 11. That the Gentiles going to take. Go ahead and read.
And shall take away the daily sacrifice.
Yes.
And they shall place the abomination that maketh desolate.
See, the Edomites going to start this daily sacrifice. They're going to start killing animals, killing goats and bullocks and all of that. This man, he going to come, he going to stop this daily sacrifice. You know why? Because he is mimicking Jesus. Jesus is coming on a white horse with many crowns. This man is coming on a white horse with one crown, if you read the seals in the 6th chapter of Revelation. These are the things that we need to pay attention to. So now, a host, an army going to stand on his part. They shall pollute the sanctuary of strength and shall take away the daily sacrifice. Turn over to the 12th chapter, and we're going to read one verse, verse 11. Because before he take this temple, they got to put him in there. It's going to take them 30 days to get this man, because Edom is not going to give them this temple. So it's going to take them 30 days to take this temple. Pick it up at verse 11. Pick it up at verse 11. What does it say, brother?
And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away.
From the time that he take it away, go ahead.
And the abomination that maketh desolate is set up.
Until the abomination is set up. Now notice, it's 1,260 days for the tribulation, but he's going to add another 30 days. Go ahead and read.
There shall be 1,290 days.
He said from the time that it's set up, it's going to be 1,290 and 90 days. And then all this is going to take place. So now, because you got to have the tribulation period. So, and he got to take the temple, and he got to stop this animal sacrifice. When Jesus died, the veil of the temple ripped from top to bottom, didn't it? And that signified what? No more animal sacrifice, didn't it? So that's what this man is trying to do. Let's go take a quick look at this dude. Let's go over here to 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. I just want you to understand this. And you know what I thought? That is a blessing of God. People are calling from all over after they watched the lesson here. When I was here last, people from all over the country is calling and asking me to do the lesson. I said, hold on, let me do something else. No. I said, well, look, let me do Jesus, the blood. No. I'm begging them. Let me do the dead. No, we want that. They shouldn't have watched. Andre, y'all did this to me. They shouldn't have watched. I mean, everybody is asking for the lesson. I'm like, man, I can do something else, though. So now, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 1. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. Paul going to say the same thing Jesus said. Don't let nobody deceive you here. Verse 1, what does it say, brother?
Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ, and by our gathering together unto him.
Go ahead.
That ye should not be soon shaken in mind, or be troubled.
Go ahead.
Neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as that the day of Christ is at hand.
Go ahead and read.
Let no man deceive you by any means. For that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
Or destruction, the son of perdition. But the reason he said it like that is all these other things got to happen before Jesus can come. All this stuff, this tribulation period, it's got to happen. He don't come during the tribulation period. He comes after at the seventh trumpet. At the seventh trumpet that announces the coming of the Lord. At the seventh trumpet. So now, what verse are you now?
That was the end of 3.
Go ahead and read.
Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God.
Notice what it says. He opposes and exalteth himself. Because this dude, once Satan give him some of his supernatural power, this guy is going to think he's a God in his own right. Go ahead and read.
Or that is worship. So that he as God, sitting in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God.
Ain't that something? This man got a lot of nerve, but he going to sit up here and do this. Let's go to Matthew 24, and we're going to pick it up at verse 25. Because the Lord warned you about this guy. He told you about this guy. Matthew 24 and verse 25. Matthew 24 and verse 25. 24 and 25. He's going, for those that's taking notes, he's going to read from 25 to 27. Matthew 24 and verse 25. What does it say, brother?
Behold, I have told you before.
Go ahead.
Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not.
Because they're going to say once he take that temple, they're going to say he is back. He is sitting in the temple in the holy place. Lord said, He said, no. He said, don't believe this. He said, I told you before. Go ahead and read.
For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west.
And we can see the lightning, right? Go ahead and read.
So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Ain't that something? So now he is letting you know that when he come, every eye shall see him. Let's go to Revelation 12. We're gonna skip Revelation 1. We're gonna go to Revelation 12, and we're gonna pick this up at verse 1. Because I gotta get the people to the wilderness now. And I got to let them know where this wilderness is. Revelation 12, and we're going to pick this up at verse 1. Revelation 12 and verse 1. 12 and verse 1. What does it say, brother, when you get it? Hold on. Let me see if everybody got it. Look like everybody got it. Go ahead and read.
And there appeared a great wonder in heaven. A woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
Now this woman here represents the church. If you go back to Genesis, the 37th chapter, and start at verse 9, you can see this represents Jacob, his wife, and the 12 sons of Israel. Go ahead and read some more.
And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered.
So now, skip down to verse 5, and we're going to see who this child is. Go ahead and read.
And she brought forth a man-child.
Yes.
Who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron.
See what it said? All nations. Go ahead and read.
And her child was caught up unto God and to his throne.
Go ahead.
And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of God.
Yes.
That they should feed her there 1,260 days.
See, this is a place that God prepared for her. So now skip down to verse 14 and read that. What does it say?
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time.
Go ahead.
And time. And half a time from the face of the serpent.
Let's go to Isaiah 16. Let's see where this place is at. Let's go to Isaiah 16. I know why the Lord put Israel where he going to put Israel, because I'll probably show y'all that at the end of the lesson or some other time. But I know why he put Israel in the wilderness in the land of Moab. I read this 100 times and it never dawned on me why he's doing it like that. Isaiah 16 and 2. 16, and we're going to pick it up at verse 2. 16 and 2. Go ahead and read, brother.
For it shall be that, as the wandering bird casts out the nest, so the daughters of Moab shall be at the fords of Arnon.
See, the fords of Arnon is a river. You can look on a map and find the fords of Arnon. This is around the land of the Moabites, or the Moab. When Israel left Egypt, the last place they was around was the Moabites before they went into the land. They was in that area. Go ahead and read some more.
Take counsel, execute judgment, make thy shadow as the night in the midst of the noonday.
Go ahead.
Hide the outcasts, bewray not him that wandereth.
So he's telling them to hide the outcast. Look what else he's going to say. Go ahead.
Let mine outcast dwell with thee, Moab. Be thou a covert to them from the face of the spoiler.
Ain't that something? Go ahead.
For the extortioner is at an end. The spoiler ceaseth. The oppressors are consumed out of the land.
Let's go to Isaiah 35. Just turn over to the 35th chapter, and we're going to take a look at this wilderness. This is where we're going to end up, in this wilderness. We're going to take a look at this wilderness. Isaiah 35, and we're going to pick this up at verse 1. Isaiah 35, and we're going to pick this up at verse 1. Now, mind you, while Israel is in the wilderness and they flee to the wilderness, this tribulation period is going on. It's going on. He's going to institute martial law. You cannot buy or sell without the mark. All this is going on. The Lord is multitasking. He's allowing this to go on. But Israel had to get to the wilderness because this man has taken the temple. So our only protection is the wilderness. Go ahead and read verse 1. What does it say?
The wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad for them, and the desert shall rejoice and blossom as the rose.
Go ahead, brother.
It shall blossom abundantly and rejoice even with joy and singing. The glory of Lebanon shall not be given unto it. The excellency of Carmel and Sharon, they shall see the glory of the Lord and the excellency of our God.
Go ahead.
Strengthen ye the weak hands,
yes,
and confirm the feeble knees.
Go ahead.
Say to them that are of the fearful heart, be strong.
Can you imagine? You're going to leave everything you own. You're going to walk away from everything you own. Your bank account, your house, your cars, your family. You're going to leave everything behind you. Now, you mean to tell me somebody ain't going to be scared, going to have that fearful heart? But we're going to tell them, look, we're going to explain to them, the Lord is going to save us out there. You're going to get your change out there. Old or young, you're going to get your change out there in the wilderness. He says, say to them that are fearful heart, be strong, fear not. Go ahead and read.
Behold, your God will come with vengeance.
Yes.
Even God with a recompense. He will come and save you.
Go ahead and read.
Then the eyes of the blind shall be
open.
And the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped.
See, the people that really blind or can't really see this, their eyes going to come wide open. They're going to see the glory of the Lord. Go ahead and read.
Then shall the lame man leap as a hart, and the tongue of the dumb sing.
Go ahead.
For in the wilderness
Shall waters break out. Go ahead.
the streams in the desert.
Fresh water, trees, fruit trees. That stuff going to just break out in that desert. Go ahead and read.
And the parched ground shall become a pool, and the thirsty land springs of water.
Go ahead.
In the habitation of dragons, where each lay, shall be grass with reeds and rushes.
Go ahead and read, brother.
And an highway shall be there, and a way, and it shall be called the way of holiness. The unclean shall not pass it over.
Go ahead.
But it shall be for those, the wayfaring men, though fools, shall not err therein.
Ain't that something? You know, ain't no fool going to be out there. Ain't no guy that do half sins going to be out there. He say, but it shall be for those, the wayfaring men, though fools, shall not err therein. Read verse 9.
No lion shall be there.
Go ahead.
Nor any ravenous beast shall go up upon thereon. It shall not be found there, but the redeemed shall walk there.
See, the redeemed, you're going to be the redeemed. You got the knowledge to get there, so you're going to be redeemed there. Let's back up to Psalms 91. Psalms 91. Psalms 91. Psalms 91. And we're going to pick this up at verse 1. Because this, to the Sunday church, this is definitely a secret place. Because they don't know nothing about it. That's why that man on the video was talking about a rapture that ain't going to never come. That is straight from Satan the devil. There is no rapture. We're going to pick this up. You know, he gonna take you out of the way so the tribulation can start. Then he's going to bounce you back to the earth. What kind of lie is that? Because they don't know no better. Everybody done fell for the lie. They done made movies, Left Behind, dude flying an airplane. He got raptured. I always wondered in the movie, who folded his clothes up? Y'all ever notice that? You ever watch that movie? And then the plane is just flying, and somebody folded the man's clothes up right there on the seat. Or the stewardess, her clothes is folded up on her seat. Or half of the people on the plane, they clothes, who folded the clothes up? That's what I want to know. Then the plane crashed and killed all the innocent people. See, it just doesn't make any sense. Psalms 91 and 1. 91 and 1, brother. What does it say?
He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
So you're going to abide, you in the secret place of the Most High, and you're going to abide under his shadow. Go ahead and skip down to verse 3, and read that. What does it say?
Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and from the noisome pestilence.
He going to deliver you. Go ahead and read.
He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust.
Go ahead and read.
His truth shall be thy shield and buckler.
Go ahead, brother.
Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day.
Go ahead.
Nor for any pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for any destruction that wasteth at noonday.
See, all this is going to take place. Go ahead and read.
1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand.
Go ahead.
But it shall not come near thee.
Go ahead.
Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked.
Now, I always wondered about that. You're going to see the reward of the wicked, but you're in the wilderness. How are you going to see all this carnage going on all over the world? The Lord is going to provide a way for us to see it. And you sisters and brothers, if you ain't going all natural, you can't get no hair out in the wilderness. You know, you can't buy no hair out there and get your, maybe one of the sisters could do your nails, but you got to go all natural out there. Ain't no Walmart out there either. You know, we got to be able to survive this. What verse you at?
That was into verse 8.
Go ahead and read some more.
Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation.
Ain't that something? Go ahead and read, brother.
There shall no evil befall thee.
See, you ain't got to worry about no evil befalling you there. Go ahead and read.
Neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwellings.
Tell them why. Go ahead.
For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways.
Ain't that something? To keep you in all thy ways. Let's go to Revelation 13. Let's look at some of the stuff that's going to be going on during this time period. Revelation 13. Revelation, the 13th chapter. Let's look at some of the stuff that's going to be going on during this time period. Revelation 13, we're going to pick this up at verse 1. Revelation 13, we're going to pick this up at verse 1. Revelation chapter 13. Because this man, this abomination that make it desolate, he gonna have the world by the tail for a minute. Revelation 13, and it all started with the original Babylon. Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece and Rome. It all started there. But what we're calling the last days is Babylon the Great. And this is what the Lord is showing you in this 13th chapter. Because he's going to talk about the beast having 7 heads and 10 horns. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 1.
Verse 1.
And I stood upon the sands of the sea.
Yes.
And saw a beast rise up out of the sea. Having 7 heads and 10 horns. And upon his horns 10 crowns. And upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
So he had 7 heads and he had 10 horns. Babylon was 1 head. Medo-Persia is 1. And Rome had 1 head. But it's 7 heads and 10 horns, and the 10 horns and the 10 crowns. The 10 crowns represent the European Union with the 10 nations. But go ahead and read, brother. What it say?
And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. And his feet were as the feet of a bear.
Go ahead.
And his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon.
And who is the dragon, y'all? Satan the devil. And the dragon, go ahead.
And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority.
Verse 4, what does it say?
And they worshiped the dragon.
And they worshiped the dragon, go ahead.
Which gave power unto the beast.
Go ahead.
And they worshiped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast, and who is able to make war with him?
Go ahead.
And there was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months.
Go ahead and read.
And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against
God. Go ahead.
To blaspheme his name.
See, this guy think he is a God in his own right. So he going to blaspheme the God of Israel. Go ahead and read.
And his tabernacle. And them that dwell in heaven.
Go ahead and read.
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints.
Y'all see what I'm saying? That's what I want y'all to see. He going to make war with you. And he going to prevail over some. Go ahead and read.
And to overcome them.
Yes.
And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations.
Because this was a worldwide issue. Verse 11. What does verse 11 say?
And I beheld another beast came up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
Go ahead, brother. Skip down to verse 13, and let's look at this dude. Go ahead and read.
And he doth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
See, we saw that in Job's time, that the Lord rained fire down and burned up Job's stuff. This man gonna do the same thing, but he's operating through witchcraft in the power of Satan. See, Satan has given this man some of his supernatural power, and the God of Israel going to allow this man to do this. Go ahead and read.
And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
Go ahead, brother.
Saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live.
See, you notice you got the abomination of desolation, and he talk about there is a beast. Because this is the military man that's going to be over the 10 nations or that European Union. They all going to keep their sovereignty, but they going to give power to this one man. Go ahead and continue to read. What else it say?
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
So this guy going to be able to make a statue, maybe rock, granite, whatever it is. He going to make that statue get up and walk and talk and kill you if you don't worship that image. Go ahead and read some more.
And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and
bond,
to receive a mark in their right hands or in their foreheads.
See, you pledge an allegiance to Satan through this guy. Remember, it said you are really worshiping the dragon that gave power to the beast. So you are really dealing with Satan the devil. Verse 17, what else he say?
And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
Go ahead and read.
Here is wisdom.
Yes.
Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast.
Go ahead.
For it is the number of a man, and the number is 666.
That is 666. But did it start here? No, it started back in the days of Daniel. with the 6 instruments and all of that. It started back then. See, the Lord is showing you the end from the beginning. He is letting you know what is going to happen. And it's going to happen. Everything else he put out there happened. Let's go.